she practiced it within her own life. She is truly a very wonderful person, a great author, a fantastic minister, and somebody that we are so delighted every time she can make it here to talk. I'm excited about what she's going to say because it's feeding into me speaking next week about finding the spark. And so we're going to have a two-speaker. So please welcome Reverend Connie Ashman. I'm sure you've had it shortened to hash before.
All kinds of things. All kinds of iterations. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just kind of taking in all of you. So glad to be here. I'm always so happy to be here. There's so much love here. So I'm talking today about embodiment. I feel it's a missing key, perhaps, for some of us in our spiritual awakening. It's not easy being in a body, is it?
No.
Oh, man.
No.
What did we sign up for, huh? We did, though. We signed up for coming into these bodies, didn't we? Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to start with a quote from someone that probably most of you remember. You remember Carl Sagan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. From the original Cosmos series. I think it was the late 70s, right? Mm-hmm. You probably heard this before. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. Our physical bodies are literally made of the stuff of the stars. And it's something important for us to remember as we're walking here on the planet. We tend to not really look at our bodies in that way. But we are part of the entire universe. And we came here as divine beings. We all know that here, right, at CCL. We all came here as divine beings to be in a physical body, to experience the spirit coming into form. Of course, spirit is everywhere, right? It's everywhere present. It's in everything. It's in form. It's in formless. But we came here to realize that. Yes, we came here to make that real in our consciousness. To come here into form and recognize the sacredness of being in form. But we forget that a little bit on the spiritual path sometimes, don't we? We kind of get focused on meditation, or, like I want to be out, I want to astral travel, which is cool, it's cool. I want to be in my higher chakras, that's cool, that's great, it's important. But we don't want to do that to the exclusion of being here in our body, or to abandon our bodies, because our bodies need us. In fact, what I talk about in my book is that when we leave our bodies go into panic. They're like, nobody's home here. Who's steering the ship? And we can cause ourselves more stress. It can cause that flight or fight kind of response in the body by feeling that we're not really home in the body. But there's more than just making sure that we stay calm and our nervous system doesn't get freaked out by us not being in our bodies. It's so important for us to have embodied awakening. Embodied awakening. We may think that this is kind of a no-brainer, like, okay, I'm here in a body. I'm embodied, right? Like I do yoga, or I walk, or I exercise, or I eat good foods, or whatever. I'm embodied, right? But embodiment is really more than just doing things with our body that are good for our body. It's really about being present inside our body here, inside our body, and connected to the earth. Present inside our body, that's feeling it, experiencing it from inside, and connected to the earth. And if you think about it, many of the great spiritual masters, spiritual teachers, and leaders of time, they're really committed to embodiment. Can you think of any spiritual master or spiritual leader who's really committed to embodiment, past or present?
Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama, yes, exactly. He travels around in his body to bring the message to others. He could just be satisfied with writing books, right? But he's traveling in his body, and he's really embodying that peace that he talks about. Yes? Or like Amma, anyone know Amma, the hugging saint? That she is fully committed to being in the body. She's always doing service through her body, through her many charities, through traveling around the world, hugging people, thousands of people a day. That's like a commitment to being in your body, right? She could just, meditate. She teaches meditation as it's important for our spiritual awakening, but she also teaches selfless service through our body to other bodies, right? In this world of form is essential for our spiritual awakening to really demonstrate that through physical form. And
how about Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter, yeah, through all of his work with building homes. What is that called? Yeah, at age 95, and he's still out there doing service with his body, fully here. How about like Jesus? He was fully committed to being in his body. He could have just, gone out in the wilderness and meditated and, maybe talked a little bit, but he put his body on the line all the time. He knew he was risking his life. And even when he was crucified, he committed to staying in the body there through that. He could have just been, I'm out of here. He had the power to do that. I'll just leave my body so I don't suffer. No, he was committed to being here with us in our suffering. Or the Buddha. The Buddha, now he went through a period of time where he tried to escape his body or mortify the flesh. He actually starved himself for long periods of time. He did lots of deep meditation to try to go out of the body, and he came to realize, no, it's the middle way. It's the middle way. I need to care for my body and be here, not get indulged in my body or indulged in, eating too much or whatever it is. There was the middle way. Eat the right amount. Take care of your body. Be here. Commit to being here. And when he awakened under the Bodhi tree, he touched the earth as his witness to break through that illusion. He didn't say, I'm going up to break through the illusion. He's like, I'm here as witness on the earth to see through the illusion of Maya. Can you think of any others?
Mother Teresa?
Mother Teresa, she was fully committed, working with people who had leprosy, and she was putting her body right there to serve. Yes? Or Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, they put their bodies on the line. They could have just, Martin Luther King could have just talked from the pulpit. Gandhi could have just done that, but they would literally stand in the face of possible violence against them to stand for nonviolence.
Harriet Tubman,
right? She was committed to the freedom of slavery.
Back and again and again and again.
Again and again and again. So we can think of many examples of people spiritual people who were fully embodied and committed to that. This is our divine vehicle for this life. And we came into this body. This body is conscious itself. Every cell of your being has divine consciousness and intelligence. It's miraculous when you think about it, right? The cells in your liver, they all know how to be liver cells and to work together with the other liver cells. They have that divine intelligence. Your skin cells all know how to be skin. Every part of you, your bone cells know how to be bones. How do they know that? Because they have that divine intelligence. They know their purpose. And they're living it out to serve your incarnation. To serve your incarnation. That you came in here to bring spirit here and to realize spirit here in this world of form. So this is sacred. This is sacred. Corky.
And it's so interesting that because we have choice, that we have such a difficult time in figuring out how to be human.
Well, and coming into the body gives us that choice, gives us the opportunity to have choice.
But liver cells are liver cells, and skin cells are skin cells, and human being human is like whatever you make it.
That's true. And we came in here to be those co-creators, to be able to have those choices and to see what can we create in this form, in this world of form. What can we bring alive here? We are all outpicturings of the divine, aren't we? We're all sparks of the divine, so we are all coming here to bring a unique expression of that infinite divine presence, that God, Goddess, all that is infinite, is all that there is. So to know itself, to experience itself, it comes into all these myriad of forms that we see here in this room, in our community, and around the world. All the plants, all the animals, the elements. It's coming in all of these ways. There's no way that one form can capture all of what God is. So we're each bringing a unique expression of that. That's why a lot of people think that, for example, Hinduism is a polytheistic religion because it's got all these different gods and goddesses. But actually the truth is that the heart of Hinduism believes that there's one infinite consciousness called Brahman, and it expresses in myriad infinite forms. And the reason why there's all these gods and goddesses is that they're reflecting different aspects of that divinity. So we've got Ganesha, who's a male elephant-headed god, and he's the god of removing obstacles and the patron of the group, and the one that you turn to at the beginning of every ritual to initiate that process of transformation. And then we have Lakshmi, who's a divine feminine who represents love and beauty and abundance. So there's these different forms outpicturing different facets, different aspects of the divine, because it's hard sometimes to connect to the divine as this infinite oneness presence, right? It helps to have like a form that we can understand. And so we come in here as form to understand each other as divine, to be in relationship with each other as sacred and as divine. It's like God, Goddess, all that is one diamond. And we're each a facet cut on that beautiful diamond. And so, each of those facets reflects something different, right? If you held one here, it would be reflecting something different depending on where it is on the diamond and how the light is shining on it. So are we really embodied? Meaning that we're allowing ourselves to feel what we feel through our body. It's our body that allows us to really feel emotion. It's the visceral experience of sensation. It's our bodies that allow us to create, right, with our hands, with acting out in the world. We often objectify our bodies. We treat them as an object. We look at them in mirrors, which takes us out of our body. It actually takes us out of our body to look at our body in the mirror. And think back to the times before we had mirrors, how different it might have been to be in a body, to experience a body. We weren't judging ourselves, we weren't comparing ourselves. We were being in it and feeling it. Being present in our body, in the present moment, connected to the earth. But our bodies are not objects. They're part of who we are. So on the spiritual path, many of us wake up to the fact that, I'm more than a body. I'm not just this body. I'm not just this personality. I'm a divine being, right? That's like usually your beginning on your spiritual path. But then as we deepen and evolve and connect more to our spiritual self, we circle back to, and I am this divine form as well. So we're the both and. We're not limited to the body. We're more than the body, but we're also this divine vehicle. We're also this expression through flesh and form. We have so many distractions to disconnect us from our bodies, don't we? Our devices, the TV, doing and being busy all the time, which is so rampant here in Silicon Valley, right? Constantly busy and doing, commuting, all these things kind of take us out of our body. So it's very important that we have practices that connect us and bring us in here. That we remind ourselves how essential it is to be in here, especially when we're hurting, especially when we're suffering. When your body is struggling, that's when your body needs you there the most, right? That's when your body needs you to be fully present here, connected. I'm here and I love you. How often do you express love to your body? Your body needs love just like you do. We all know we need love, right? We all know that love is essential for thriving and awakening, yes, for babies.
Well, you get a lot of, you're too fat, you're too this, you're that, you're,
Right,
a lot of contrary and not very positive.
exactly. We get all that negative feedback or what the media or the culture says, and we compare ourselves and judge ourselves, and we take that on when we hear we're too this or we're too that, or we're not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're trying to be, oh, you're too smart, or you're too, even in things that would normally be considered a positive, usually when you get feedback, it's that, you've overachieved, or you've overdone.
So when we hear that, and when we start to notice our mind saying things like that, is when we can stop ourselves and remember to come back to right here, right now in this body, to cherish and appreciate this body rather than buying into those messages that we hear out there. I know it's something you probably already know, right? And it's pretty simple. But we need reminders of that because we're so pulled out there all the time. All the images that we see on social media, we're so pulled out there and then comparing ourselves. But coming in here is what we need. We came in here. We came into this life to be in this body, this sacred body. So our bodies become our spiritual teachers. How many of you have experienced that, like through an illness or an injury, or like your body really teaching you something, really helping to awaken you to something?
We want a vacation from that right now. This row is murmuring vacation, please. Enough teaching. Time out.
It's hard, isn't it? It's not an easy commitment we made when we came into this body.
No.
Especially aging, right? They say it's not for wimps. Aging is not for wimps.
They bail out early.
Yeah, exactly. The wimps bail out early, right? And there's a divine process in that too. That the aging reminds us that this is temporary. Yes, this is sacred. Yes, we created this. Yes, we came in here, and this is temporary. This is our temporary vehicle. It helps us not be so attached. Yes?
Yes,
So-
you want to get out of the pain.
Of course. Of course we do. But if a friend of ours is in pain, we don't go, well, go away. I don't want to deal with your pain.
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, if it gets too much, I understand. But what we want, right, when we're suffering, is we want a friend to be here for us.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, don't we? To unconditionally love us, even when we're in pain.
We're supposed to anyway.
Yeah. So that's how our bodies are teachers, right? It's in those very moments of pain that our body is teaching us, okay, can you love me now? Can you still care for me now? Can you still be here for me now? Even though it's painful, even though it's uncomfortable, even though I know you're suffering in me.
Yeah.
Can you still do that?
It's a room of healers, there we go.
And you're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect about it. Sometimes we're like, Uncle, enough. Can this stop?
No.
It's humbling. But our bodies are our teachers, our sacred vehicles, and divine manifestation. And you are healers, by going into the cells of our bodies, loving them, bringing forth their divine consciousness. But it doesn't mean it's always going to make it all go away. That's the challenge, is being loving walking our spiritual path even though we may be in pain. That's a deeper spiritual opportunity than when everything feels great, isn't it? If we're really honest about it. If everything was all perfect all the time, would we have a lot of motivation to grow, to serve? Would we experience as much compassion? I mean, maybe we would, but I really have found for myself, and it's not like I want to experience those things again that were scary and painful, like when I was in the hospital years ago for an appendectomy. But that taught me so much that I wouldn't have understood had I not gone through that.
Well, a lot of times it makes you a better counselor,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because you can empathize and, that.
Really, those of us who know the territory can be better guides, yes? Those who know the territory are better guides, right? You're going out in the wilderness and you need a guide. Are you going to take someone who's never been, well, I've never been out here, but I got a map. I got a map. I mean, this should work, right? Like, no. Someone who's known the territory.
Right.
Galen, Chris.
I think, as I'm sitting here, I'm reflecting on how much it helps with prioritization. And so, not to say that we're going to launch ourselves out and not be here, that's not the prioritization I'm thinking of, but the opposite of just not gonna put energy in X, Y, Z direction anymore. That's what I have found, is that it allows me to narrow my focus into what's really important and to be more decisive about what I want to bring in or not bring in, what I want to engage and not engage. And I think that makes my work better.
So you have conscious intent of what you want to engage and what you don't want to, and what you want to bring in and what you don't.
To me, that state requires an assessment and a decision.
The state of suffering, or yeah, it does. I think it does call us to make a decision.
The temporality of it.
Mm-hmm. To make a decision. Am I going to still be here with this? How am I going to put my attention on this or somewhere else? Or if I'm going to put my attention on this, say for my healing, how am I going to put my attention on it? Right? Yes.
There's value in the transition, and that's where a lot of the growing comes from. I think we're always like, okay, I was like this, I can't wait to be like this version of me, but the middle part
Yes.
is actually really valuable. That is where the most growth happens, I think, and being present in the transition, even if it's uncomfortable or painful, is instrumental in becoming the next version or level of you and graduating to that level.
Absolutely. I love you bringing up that there's value in the transition.
Well, I think, and for any woman who's ever been pregnant, is going through that. Their body's changing, and yet there's something better coming, and you're going, you never can go back to, I don't know what that's like.
Exactly.
You have gone through it and become stronger through so many parts of it.
Right. Having gone through it, you know it.
Right.
And you do become stronger because of it. And the transitions are so important. Most of life is transition. Think about it. Most of life is transitions. Okay? Driving, walking, or the transition of going through school and then graduating, right?
Learning to walk.
Learning to walk.
And
Learning
then
to walk
walk
again
strong.
later in life. Yeah.
Every 4
You
years.
and the transition between birth and death, right? This whole life is a transition in this temporary body. Can we bring ourselves to embody that? Say, I'm going to really be here fully for this whole thing, because it won't be that long. And I came here to bring consciousness to that. I came here to awaken in this body. So we're both and. We're of the spirit realm. We're of the physical realm. We transcend this and we are this at the same time. It's a spiritual paradox. Yes? Embodiment connects us to others. Really, we connect through being present here in our bodies. You might think we connect maybe through Facebook or something. There is a little bit of connection there. But it's not, it's not like being right here with each other. A touch, eye-to-eye connection. This is how we create connection. When we're present in our bodies, we can feel connected with others, we can feel connected with ourselves, we can feel connected to the planet, we can feel connected with the divine. And when we feel connected, there is love. Think about that. When we feel connected, there is love. When you're really connected with your body, there'll be more love in your body. And that will overflow the more you practice that. I'll have that to share with others. James.
And it's often said that God is love. And so when we connect with ourselves, we're connecting with God too.
Absolutely. That presence is God itself, is the divine itself. Right.
And not accepting, I hear this of all my clients, well, one of these days I'm going to feel, one of these days I'm going to lose weight, one of these days I'm going to do, instead of just that total acceptance, that going through it, they want to put it off until the miracle happens in their life, that they're going to get a partner, or there's something is going to change, without accepting who they truly are.
So that's conditional love.
Yeah, conditional on myself, exactly, thank you, Annie.
So we learn to be unconditional even in the conditions.
Right.
Even in the conditions, we learn to be unconditional with that love, with that presence, with that embodiment, that commitment to being here as long as we're here. And it's not easy, but it's beautiful. It's your sacred opportunity to do this in this lifetime. There's a quote from Sue Monk Kidd. Embodiment means we no longer say, I had this experience. We say, I am this experience. I am embodied here. I am creating this. I am participating in this. I open my heart to this. I am this experience called life. So, if you feel like it, if it feels right to you, join with me in placing your hands on your body somewhere. And if it resonates with you, repeating after me, I love this body.
I love this body.
Love my liver.
This body is sacred.
This body is sacred.
I'm committed to being in this sacred embodiment.
I'm committed to being in this sacred embodiment.
I'm grateful to be embodied.
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 And I am embodied.
And I am embodied.
And so it is.
So it is. Connie, do you want to say anything about your workshop?
I think I already did. Well, we are going to do embodiment practices. We're going to do the three keys, the three foundational keys we'll cover today are presence. And what is it really to be present here in this moment? Embodiment and self-compassion, which last time I was here I think I talked about self-compassion one of the other times. So we're going to do some practices that really bring that home. So I hope you'll join me. It'll be great.
Hey.